Ham United fans, welcome back to the West Ham Network for your Game Week 8 matchday preview as West Ham United welcome Newcastle to the London Stadium on Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff. Both sides were in action in Europe during midweek. West Ham picking up a 2-1 win over Freiburg in Germany, a hard-fought victory for David Moyes' men, whilst Eddie Howe's lads picked up a massive 4-1 victory over PSG, a very, very famous night at St James's Park. This is everything you guys need to know about Sunday's game in London. Now, Eddie Howe's Chargers find themselves in 8th position in the Premier League table. It's been somewhat of an up and down start to the campaign for Newcastle. However, they have won their last 3 on the bounce, beating Brentford, then going to Sheffield United, getting a famous 8-0 victory away from home, and then beating Burnley by 2-0. So they do seem to be in form in the Premier League. Couple that with their good form in the Champions League. They've picked up 4 points from their last 2 games in that competition. Of course, the 4-1 win over PSG. What a night, what an occasion for Eddie Howe, for Newcastle, for all the fans, to take down a European giant like that in the fashion that they did was really, really phenomenal. I mean, Almiron, Longstaff, Isak's looking good, Guimaraes in midfield is looking good, Tonali. They've just got so many options. There are a couple of injury doubts and a couple of suspensions that I will touch on a bit later, which does make for slightly better reading for West Ham United fans. But this is a Newcastle side that are really on the up. They've made a slow start to the Premier League. I mean, in their last 5, they've won 3. They did lose the first 2 of those 5 against Liverpool and Brighton, but 3 wins on the bounce in the league. Champions League looking strong. It's going to be an ominous game for West Ham United. However, we are also in amazing form and we're looking really solid. The win over Freiburg was a really astute performance away from home. Thought we were really comfortable in that game. It should have been done and dusted in the first half. We're absolutely all over them, many chances, but we've got the 3 points in Germany, and that was the most important thing on the day. All right, now on to some team news for Sunday. In the Newcastle camp, Callum Wilson and Joe Linton are major doubts for this one. Both are in a race against time to be fit for Sunday, but it is looking quite unlikely according to reports that I've read in the Newcastle camp, whilst Joe Willock, Sven Botman and Harvey Barnes are all out for Newcastle ahead of Sunday's game. So they are struggling a little bit on the injury front, but they do have some really talented players that can step up and fill the void. Anthony Gordon is also suspended for this one, which is a massive blow for Eddie Howe's men. He's picked up 5 yellow cards, which means he will miss the game at the London Stadium. Whilst in the West Ham camp, Mikel Antonio is a doubt. He was left out of the game against Freiburg with a groin issue. Ben Johnson is also a doubt. But other than that, West Ham are at full strength and one of the fittest sides in the Premier League at the moment in terms of injuries. Now on to some head-to-head stats between these two sides. In our last 5 games against Newcastle, Newcastle have won 2 games. There have been 2 draws and a West Ham victory. However, the last time these 2 sides played was April 2023, Newcastle coming out on top by 5-1 at the London Stadium. A very damaging defeat that for West Ham United at the time. Callum Wilson getting 2 goals that day. It does seem as though he will be unavailable for Sunday, which is a massive plus for West Ham because Callum Wilson is he's been a thorn in West Ham for many years, scoring against us. But the head-to-head form is pretty even apart from that 5-1 drubbing. Newcastle is always a tight game. There's been a couple of draws in those last 5. There's been a couple of goals. I mean, think back to a couple of seasons ago, there was a 3-2 defeat at the London Stadium. I mean, we put 4 past them at St James's Park. So there are goals in these type of fixtures. It has been quite tight. I think these are 2 very, very well-drilled teams going head-to-head, 2 confident teams. I personally really enjoy Eddie Howe as a manager. I think he's fantastic. We've got David Moyes, who's just taken West Ham to an English record of being unbeaten in 17 games in Europe, which is a phenomenal feat. So you've got 2 really good teams taking each other on at the London Stadium. It's going to make for a fantastic spectacle. All right, to end off this video, I'm going to give you guys a little prediction from my end. I'm feeling confident, I must be honest. I think the lads have really turned a corner the last couple of weeks. We're looking so good, defensively really well organized, well drilled, and going forward, we're scoring goals. Lads are getting into good positions. Jared Bowen has just been electric. We've seen Lucas Paqueta getting in amongst the goals. He scored a great header against Freiburg. I'd like to see Mohamed Kudus get a bit more game time. He looked really good against Freiburg from the start, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game of football. I really, really think so. It's two really well-drilled sides, two confident sides, and I think it will make for a very exciting spectacle. But I'm going to go West Ham United 3, Newcastle 2. I think there's going to be goals in this one. Both sides will really want to take the game to each other, but I just feel as though we're going to have enough. I think if it was at St. James's Park with the atmosphere, could be slightly different, but I think we're at home. We've been playing really well at home this season, and I expect us to hopefully come up with the 3 points on Sunday. Safe travels to everyone going to the game. I hope it's a fantastic one. Sing your lungs out, and hopefully the lads get a positive result. Come on, you Irons. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do to the channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave your comment below. Anyway, I'm out. Much love, everyone. Come on, you Irons.